So a while back, a viewer of mine requested that I do more videos on Lord of the Mysteries. So I wanted to, I guess, fulfill that request, but I didn't want to do it in a way where it would be like, I guess, milking the popularity of Lord of the Mysteries. So this is like, I guess, my way of doing it because I, in my original review of Lord of the Mysteries, my explanation of the power system was anything but satisfactory. So, in this video, I decided to, I guess, research the seer pathway, which Klein Moretti decides to pursue. And I wanted to, I guess, research the ingredients and the process that, like, one might go through if they were, like, by chance, like, transmigrated into the Lord of the Mysteries world and they wanted to become a seer. So, without further ado, here's the steps that you might take to become a seer. So, if you're randomly transmigrated into the world of Lord of the Mysteries and you want to become a seer, you might want to first probably join the Nighthawks or an organization where you might be able to obtain the seer potion because like although like you might want to be a lone wolf or whatever, like it's much more safer to join the Nighthawks or an organization because you're not in it alone, and these ingredients, like some of the ingredients later on, they're kind of like really obscure, and you might probably have a really hard time finding them or even like buying them. Like think of it this way, like if you decide to join the Nighthawks, like Klein Moretti, like they have a team of people that's gonna work with you. And think of it this way, you get 6 pounds a week, which only increases with time. And need I mention that the salary is literally tax free? Like what more do I have to say, man? This is like literally a dreamland, man. Tax free. Like tax free, bro. And but like if you don't want to join an organization or the Nighthawks to get the seer potion, then you'll have to first find these main ingredients, which are first the 10 milliliters of lavo squid's blood. I wasn't able to really find the rarity of lavo squids or the place in which they reside and where you can find them, but I was able to find some useful knowledge on them, like the fact that the lavo squid's blood would break down in the presence of sunlight, so you have to store it in a material that blocks out sunlight so that you can keep this beyonder ingredient for the final goal of making the potion. And once you're in possession of the lava squid blood, the next ingredient would be the stellar aqua crystals, which you will need 50 grams of it. And the stellar aqua crystals are, like in the novel, described as appearing gelatinous and lacking any hardness, whatever that means. If they're placed under the illumination of blue light, you'll find that the stellar aqua crystals actually reflect bits of light and seem as if they contain a resplendent void of stars within them, whatever that also means. On a side note, it was also once mentioned by old Neil, God rest his soul, or the fool rest his soul, spoilers, I'm sorry. But he once mentioned that stellar aqua crystals were an excellent material for the creation of divination crystals, which in no doubt would definitely come in very helpful for future seers who don't have let's say, a magical castle in their hands. To make divination easier, And these are the two main ingredients, and from there are the supplementary ingredients that you would have to find. The first being 100 milliliters of pure water, which is pretty easy to obtain. You shouldn't really have any difficulty finding this unless you find yourself unlucky and have a friendly neighbor or an unfriendly neighborhood nestle stealing all your water. And once you obtain pure water, you will then need 13 drops of night vanilla liquids. Don't ask me where to obtain these liquids or whatever, because I will probably have to tell you that I have no idea. From there, you need 7 gold mint leaves. Although I don't know of any like mint leaves that are fully gold, there are some mint leaves with a tint of gold on them on Earth, but that's on Earth. But on Earth, mint leaves are plants that can be found growing in hotter climates in more shaded areas of the wild. But this information might not be applicable for gold mint leaves in the world of Lord of the Mysteries, or maybe it might be because gold mint leaves are a mutation of normal mint leaves because of the thing that brought about the world of Lord of the Mysteries. But whatever. After obtaining the gold mint leaves, you'll have to go after 3 drops of poison hemlock. And this was actually the most interesting thing about this. About the seer pathway ingredients that I found, and the reason for that being you'll find out like a little bit later on. But on Earth, poison hemlocks are native to Europe and North Africa, and if this is of any help, poison hemlocks typically germinate from seeds in the fall and produce flowers during the spring. I'm not very 100% sure on that because this was just a Google search, so someone might have to fact check me on that in the comments, and they might also have to fact check this one as well, which says that poison hemlocks are genuinely very easily recognized throughout the winter and early spring. So I'm not exactly sure about this, but moving on, as the name implies, this plant is poisonous, and the reason that this ingredient was the most interesting out of the seer pathway potion was that on Earth, Socrates was actually killed by this very poison, or was at least recorded by someone to have been killed by this very poison, which I find very fitting and interesting because the seer pathway is closely linked with knowledge and the pursuit of it through regular or mythical means, and it contains an ingredient that reportedly killed arguably one of the greatest thinkers on Earth. But with that fun fact aside, returning back to the final supplementary ingredient at hand, you will need to obtain 9 grams of dragon blood grass powder, and after which you will have all the ingredients that is necessary for the seer potion. The closest thing to dragon blood grass powder that I could find in my 10 seconds of Google research was that of the Japanese bloodgrass, which, to no one's surprise, grows in Japan under sunny and moist conditions with well-drained soil. And with all these ingredients, in order to create the potion, you start by pouring 100 milliliters of pure water into a cauldron, and afterwards you would drip 13 drops of night vanilla liquids or juices into the cauldron with a pipette, and then you would drop the 7 gold mint leaves into the cauldron. And do the same with the 3 drops of poison hemlock. Be careful not to sniff too much of it or you'd probably kill yourself. But in order to get the exact amount and reduce the chance of losing control through faulty measurements or whatever, Old Neil again said that you should probably measure the amount of dragon blood grass powder in grams with a beaker and scale before you drop the powder into the cauldron. And you should probably also measure exactly all the ingredients that you're putting in, because this is literally the difference between you turning into a parody of I have no mouth but I must scream, or you getting mythical powers that can rival the gods. But with that aside, with the supplementary ingredients done, the only thing left are the 2 main ingredients. Perhaps a piece of advice that I should have probably said earlier, you don't have to have the exact amount of these ingredients to the exact milligram or whatever. You can actually use a smaller dosage of them, although it is highly advised to not stray too far from them because it might cause you to be more vulnerable to losing control. But with that being said, pour the lava squid blood into the cauldron. I should mention that you can underdose the amount of ingredients you put into the cauldron, but you can't overdose it, because if you have too much of it, you're fucked. But with that being said, pour the lava squid blood into the cauldron, and once you've poured the blood, you might find that the cauldron will actually start to produce bubbling sounds and emit a light blue light, for lack of better wording, light. Don't worry about this, because this is actually a sign that you are one step away from finally obtaining a seer potion. And once you have poured the blood, drop the final ingredient, the stellar aqua crystals, into the cauldron, and keep your mind firm as to not be distracted by the beauty of the stars within the crystals that are revealed by the light that's emitted by the cauldron as a reaction to the lava squid blood. But after dropping the stellar aqua crystals into the cauldron, you will find that the cauldron makes a sizzling sound as the room is filled with a fog and the sight of stars. Once the fog clears up, you'll see that the cauldron is actually filled with a sticky dark blue liquid that Klein described as being gooey and inseparable. From on there, I mean, you could probably just just take the whole cauldron and just chug the whole ingredient down. But what Klein or Old Neil decided to do was to scoop the newly made potion into an opaque cup. After that, he just said bottoms up and Klein just downed it. After scooping up the potion, you can either just, I guess, keep it to sell it or then just chug the whole thing, kind of like how Klein did. After you drink the potion, you should be a Beyonder now. And of course, I probably don't need to warn anyone. Don't act stupid with your seer powers or whatever, because that's a very easy way to get yourself imprisoned or killed for being a Beyonder that's not in an organization or affiliated with a church. So yeah, that's about it. I feel like, I mean, this video was a lot of work to do, but I really enjoyed the process of, I guess, making this video and researching the parts. I feel like I really want to do now that I've done this, I really want to, I guess, make another video where I know I probably might regret saying this because this video might not even ever come out, and if it does, it'll probably be in a year. But I really kind of want to do a video about the whole, like all of the pathways and the potions and the ranks and whatever, because like it's so interesting, because like I went into this not even thinking that there's gonna be that interesting of a fact or factoid with the poison hemlocks, and after researching and finding this, I'm like curious as to what other stuff the other pathways might have in them. So I might, like in the future, I might make a video about all the 220 like pathways. I'm not sure if that even includes the outer gods or whatever, but this video was really fun to make. If you've stuck around this much, I thank you so much, because I mean, I've been rambling on for a while, but if you've gotten this far, have a good day or night, and I hope you find success in the future.